So getting back to that empathy, I mean, some people, I'm going to say this, some people are empaths. It just comes naturally. And for you, you may be looking at this and saying, why do I've got this. And that's great. I know there are some empaths, it is such a strong part of them that they actually start taking on other people's emotions, and that's taking it too far, right? It's like time to dial it back. So that's a different thing. For those of us, I will put myself in that bucket. I need to work on empathy skills. Here are a couple of ways of doing that. And again, these are simple. This is kind of like the start, and there are other ways of doing it, but it's starting these habits, starting these just starting the way that, sorry, I went back one. I'm going to send it back here. So first is cultivate curiosity about strangers. Right? And so we can do small talk. This is going beyond that. This is saying, how do you really know how someone else's life, what their life is like? And I can't really get too deep at the grocery store, but I did this the other day. It says, so challenge yourself to talk to one stranger about more than the weather. So the guy at the grocery store is checking, doing my scanning all this stuff, and he says something in French. And I was like, oh, do you speak French? And he says, well, actually, and he went into this, like he lived in France. I mean, I live in a small town. It was not everybody has lived in another country here. And so it was an and he enjoyed talking about his experience, living in France. And so it was really neat. I never would have expected that. And so I challenge all of you, challenge yourselves to talk to one stranger about something more than the weather. Try to figure out something about them and their lives without, obviously being weird. Don't want to be the weird person asking all these personal questions, but you know what to do. Try to understand someone else's values and find merit in their position. Question your assumptions and take the opposing view. And so those two are kind of tied there. Again, you don't have to agree with the person, but they have an opposing view, and they have different lived circumstances, and so try to find merit in their position. And if you can find common ground, like, oh, we agree on this piece, go ahead. That can bring you closer together. Actively listen more than you speak. Really listen. And then here's another exercise. Right, opposing news sources. Yeah, I mean, you want to really figure out what someone from another point of view is thinking. You could read their news sources. This is an exercise you can do on your own. Think about someone, a friend, a family member, a coworker, and kind of note, what has their mood been like recently? And then think about what's going on in their life, what could be going on in their life that's making them in this mood, putting them in this mood. I'm sure you come up with all kinds of ideas there. You wouldn't really know, but how might you be contributing? And then is there something you could say to improve their situation or to make their mood a little better? And so this is just kind of start thinking about what other people are feeling, right? And I think sometimes I'll do this. I'll think it in my head, like, oh, they seem to be in a bad mood, but I don't go through the rest of those steps. And so there's an exercise for you.